I used to live at the YMCA. This is a long time ago. I don't know, it's probably changed a lot now, but I did live at the YMCA. YMCA in Hornsey I lived in, near Crouch End, when I was around 18. Interesting experience. I would say the positive outcome was seeing what life was like of being away from home and totally being independent. I think that was the priceless and valuable experience I had. Obviously, I was a teenager out in the world, so you can get into bad situations and things happen around you and you're growing up, you know, so there's that. But I also at the same time came into some very positive experiences that I wouldn't have had I not been living at the YMCA and living away from home life as a child. It was a child being out in the world who's still got a lot to learn, but then coming across the right channels through that independence, thankfully. And I know I'm not the common case in that regard. Not everyone has that experience when they're on, basically, I'd say on the streets, but you know, they can go the other way where they get into a lot of negative and bad stuff. So that's why I say I'm not what we commonly expect happens when someone is young and on the street. You don't expect that they're gonna come across somebody who introduces them to something like NLP, for example, that changes their whole life as a young adult and then sets them up for the rest of their life in terms of positive input in a young person. Some people get into other things and end up maybe in prison or dead or on drugs. So I'm thankful for it in that regard, that it led to a lot of positive exposure in my life through people I met just by chance, because I could have gone the other way and met some really unsavory characters, which I did, but thankfully it went the other way where I met some savory characters who set me on a path through information that they didn't necessarily give me, but I was exposed to through being in their presence, and I was attracted to it and I wanted to know more. And NLP was that thing that I got exposed to as a young adult teenager that would set my life on a positive trajectory. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's what some people would call motivational material. People like Anthony Robbins or Zig Ziglar's, Bob Proctor, people like that. People who talk about how to manage your mind and your thoughts and change negative to positive input in your brain to get positive outcomes in your life. Positive affirmations, all of that. Just basically taking control of your mind and how you think to get the outcomes and results in your life that you want, rather than just being out there on the ocean just at the mercy of the waves and the wind and the sails, rather than directing your path and your ship to where you want to go, having the knowledge that you can control this. I got into hairdressing, particularly barbering at that time, which was another positive path that I ended up on that led me to where I am today. I went to someone's house because I was doing their hair and they had been playing a cassette tape in the background, which happened to be Anthony Robbins. And this cassette tape was playing and I just was drawn into what was being said on the tape, and I had asked to borrow the tape and I was given the tape to borrow and a couple of other cassettes, and from there that was how I got introduced to it and began to search for more and found out more people in the field and just went from there and got really into it and started buying books, and that was how I got into it. It frames the way you think and you become aware of your thoughts, which is a lot of the reasons why we find ourselves either in a good place or a bad place based on how we think about it. Something happened. Okay, what does this mean? Why did this happen? A lot of the time we don't get that time to think that if we're not in control of our thinking about what's just taken place. Sometimes we're just reactive. We just react to something someone said or did or something that happened, rather than that pause moment in between where you get to decide how you feel about that. And that's what NLP taught me. That space in between where you get to decide what the meaning is. Is this positive or negative? How does this help me? How does it impact me? Is it that serious? Do I need to react? All of that middle bit before you do anything. That unconscious thinking. Yeah, neuro-linguistic programming.